Before this episode starts, I've got a 10-second favor that I'd like to ask you. The majority of people watching this podcast haven't yet hit the follow button. I can't tell you how much it helps. The show gets bigger, which means we can increase our production and also allows us to bring in some of the best guests that you want to see while allowing us to continue to do the thing that we love. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
Joe, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
How's your morning? No, evening. It's evening. It's evening in New York right now, right?
My evening's going great. Yeah, it's about 5 o'clock here, and like the sun's gone. It's like dark. It's like midnight. Yeah, and I'm like a morning person, so I've been up since like 6 a.m. and I'm like,
it's time to go to bed.
It's time to like. It's like a full day again. It's like I live like two lives. You know, it's like 6 to 5 and then 5 to whatever. So. How's your evening going? Or just morning?
Morning. It's 9 a.m. I woke up an hour ago and I'm straight into this. So
love it.
It's we're completely opposite ends of the spectrum right now.
Literally.
So I'd love to get started on allowing the listeners to understand who you are. So if you could have a bit of an elevator pitch on who you are, what you do, and how you're working to contribute to the world, what would that sound like?
Ooh, let's see. I'm Joe Floww. I'm 25 years old. I am a content creator / X-Men / mystical creature. I'm really just a full-time creative being, and I feel like I contribute to the world by being myself and helping and showing others that they can do the same. And just honestly, just all around creativity and love and light, dance, fashion.
I love it.
All the above. So
I love it.
It's all fun over here.
I love it. Well, what do you think the context of your early years like shaped you into who you are now?
So I'm from Missouri, which is like the middle of America. I don't even know if a lot of people know where that is. It's St. Louis. And I live in New York now, but I feel like growing up in a suburban kind of small town, Midwestern community, it only sets you up for like either you like break out of it or you like fall into it forever. So I always hated it. And I was like, why am I here? Like I should be in New York. I should be anywhere else but here. And I feel like that's what like was my drive to get out and start doing what I was doing, because I was like, there's only one way I'm going to make it out of this place. And that's if I become like who I want to be. And like, if that's, it's like, there's no other way. So I think that like that lifestyle was so triggering to me that I had to get out and start being creative. So
what was triggering about it? Small town,
just like small town. It's like everyone's boring. There's nothing to do. Like, it's like the white picket fence lifestyle. Like, and that was just never me. Like, I always loved video games and dancing and music. And like, I loved cameras and everything. Like in high school, I didn't play any sports. All my friends played sports. Like I was like that, like kind of like weird kid who was cool, but like also like kind of off. And I still am that kid.
Yeah,
I still am that kid. But yeah, I just had to like get around more people that were kind of like me. So that's why I think that like I worked really hard to make it out of there and live in New York now. So
how did you do that? Because that's a big jump for a lot of people.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
When I think of Missouri, I think of just country. I don't know why.
It really is. Like when I say like I made it out, like I really did make it out. Like I grew up dancing. I saw this guy, my like mentor, Neil Hobson. I saw him dancing when I was in like 5th grade, and I was like, I want to be him. And he taught me how to dance, and I danced like my whole life basically. And then during COVID, I was in college. So I have a college degree, all that.
And what did you study?
I studied advertising, PR, and communications. You see how it had to load? I was like, what did I study?
Just the ring of death.
No, literally. So when I was in college, I hated it. And during COVID, I was on TikTok and Instagram, and I had previously had like a YouTube channel, and I would like make like little thrift hauls. And during COVID, while I was so bored, I was like, I can literally just like, I can make this like my actual reality, because I've always loved clothes. I've always loved dancing. I've always loved like video. And I'm like, how about I just put all these together and like just see where it goes? So I would meet up with my friend every single Friday for like 6 months straight. We would take fit pics. Like I would go thrift clothes, go on ASOS and take it back. And I would just post fit pics. And over time, I started to like build a following. And I
just
remember
on fit pics, just different clothes
just
once
fit
a week.
pics and like TikToks. Yeah.
Sick.
And I remember I was working at Topgolf as a bar back. It's traumatizing. I was a bar back. And I got my first deal with Levi's. And I remember I went in like the bathroom and cried. I was like, what's going on? Like, this is crazy. And that was like all the motivation I needed. Like that was like that one yes took me from like just like hoping I would get out and like I would become something to like, oh, like there's just no other way. So
I love it.
Yeah.
And now look at you, success after success.
Yeah. Now it like never stopped, and it just never stopped. So
I think it's one of these, especially with the content world. It's like nothing, and then
exactly. That's what it was. I was like,
just holding on for dear life.
Yeah. It's been an interesting journey. It's been a very interesting journey. So, but I'm happy to be here now. I'm really happy.
I mean, you're in New York. You got great friends. You're doing something you love.
Yeah,
it's not a bad start to the tail end of your 20s.
Yeah,
So,
I feel like I just started life. I'm like, because I just moved 6 months ago. And
we met pretty much just when you moved.
That was the first week I was here. Was when we met. That was the first week.
So context: my friend Margot, she knew you were in New York for some reason, and she saw you and said, "Oh, I know that guy. I follow him. I really like him. I'm going to go talk to him."
Yeah.
And I was like, go for it. Get it done.
I was like,
and then me and Jeremy hit it off, and then me and you hit it off.
Yes, exactly. That was great. Yeah. It was so random because it was my first time at
Mirage.
At Mirage, and I was having a great time. And like, I remember your friend, she said that she was from Arkansas, and I was like, oh, like I'm like right up, I'm like over yonder. I'm right in Missouri. I'm like right there. So that was a cool connection. So
it's crazy how
I hope she's doing
how
good.
The world works. Yeah, she's doing good. She goes off the grid sometimes. You don't hear from her for 3 months. And then it's like, oh, welcome back.
I feel that. I know some people like that. So
I love it. You were talking before we started about how you were editing your mum's podcast. How has that impacted your career and development?
I feel like I always like when it comes to like video or like camera or like anything with like social media, I just kind of like know how to work it. I don't know. Like I just always make a way. Like I never took any classes on like video editing or like software or this and that. But I just think that like creativity and like talking for me is like one of my like superpowers. Like I grew up in the church also, and I would always do like announcements and I would like host things. And then when my mom,
give me an announcement. Give me one of your church. Let's go.
Welcome to Adam's. Wait, what's this podcast called?
That One Time Podcast.
Welcome to That One Time Podcast. I don't know what else to say, but
I'll give you a C+.
Okay. Period. Thank you.
All right. My pleasure. So you're saying you were in.
Sorry.
You're right. You were.
Yeah. So my mom, she wanted to do like a podcast, and I would like edit her like podcast for her because I knew how to cut and master music from dancing. Because when I would dance and perform, and I was also a dance teacher with like 4 like classes over like 50 kids and like young adults. I would like cut music and like put it together, and then I would also like when I was doing dance shows, they would style me and I would hate what they would put me in. So then I started styling myself and being like, I'm creative directing this. Like y'all are not about to dress me anymore. So it's like, I feel like dance, fashion, all these things were like brought to me, and I just had to like kind of like wield them in my own way. And like, it kind of like birthed me. It kind of birthed like Joe Floww. Yeah.
You are Would you say that Joe Floww is a version of you that you've created in your mind while you're away, while you were back home, and then it's kind of become its own thing?
Oh,
and
yeah.
There's a version of you that's separate to this. Like how does it integrate into you?
Yeah. So I think it's like divine, okay? Like I'm so happy that I have my name because my full name is Joseph Flowers. So I just like Joseph Joe and then Flowers, I just flow. It just was like too perfect. So then like when I was younger and I was like, I need like a cool name. And my brother, he wanted to rap when he was younger. And I saw one of his rap notebooks and it said Jeff Flow because his name is Jeffrey. So I just stole that. I'm like, Jeff Flow goes better. And I was in like high school. And then I started like dressing different, kind of like going outside the box. And then like this like little beast just started to like expand. And then like it consumed me. And now I'm here.
I mean, it's a wonderful place to be, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
What has been some of the challenges you've faced trying to make a career in, content creation and fashion? Because it's a pretty tough space to be in.
Yeah, a lot of challenges. I would say consistency, but I think most of the challenges were all like me versus me, like not thinking that I'm good enough, or consistency, or not looking at other people. Like I feel like I had to learn so many things about myself and like about like how to kind of be a creative to like get past like the rough times and like like the no's and all of like the creative blocks. So if it was like wanting to be original and not wanting to like follow like a trend or like other people, it's like hard when you're like starting off and you see all these people everywhere doing everything and you're like stuck in Missouri and you're like, oh my gosh. And like a big thing is patience. I had to be very patient with myself and the ones around me too.
When did you start? When did you say, all right, I'm going to give this a go? And then when did it actually start working out for you?
I gave it a go. I would say during COVID, so 2020, and then it like started like take off like a year later.
Yeah. So you were, how consistently were you posting stuff
every week?
2020?
Once
a week?
Like 4 times a week. I would try to, if not like 3 or 4 times a week. And I would have like no growth at all. And it was so confusing.
So stressful.
But at the end of the day, like I just loved like clothes. Like I loved styling and I loved dance and I loved music. And I was like, this is just what I love to do, period. So I just like never stopped. And at the time I was working for like Red Bull and I was in college and I was like on track to like have a career like in like production and like social media marketing. But I knew I did not want to do that. I was like, I do not want to do this. But I just was like, whatever happens, happens. So it was like a big patience thing for me.
So when you started in 2020, did you have any form of following at all? Like how many followers did you have on Instagram?
I had like 4K on Instagram.
But just some friends and random shit.
Friends and like I would try to post like cool pictures like all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like cool little photos. Yeah. Yeah, I know, literally. But I had like about 4,000 followers. No, on like TikTok, I started it from like the ground up. But I was posting like comedy clips on TikTok and got a following off of like posting funny videos. Like when I first started, like it wasn't even like about fashion. So like it kind of gave me like the nudge. Like if you can do this by not even like trying, like you can turn this into an actual job. Because I knew how much like money people were like making, and I also like had a lot of like people that I followed off YouTube that were doing like both platforms, and I was like, I just love it. I just love like getting from the camera and just like showing your outfit. Like that's like cool to me. So
yeah, I did my first ever fit check in Sweden. I was so awkward.
That's a great place to do it, honestly.
I went to Acne Studios because I'm not much to buy nice things. I'm pretty like, give me a $10 t-shirt and a pair of jeans.
Okay. Period. Hey, if that's you, you never run with it. Period.
And, but I went to Acne Archive in Stockholm, and I just got this like outfit, and I looked at myself. I'm like, this is dope.
Something sparked.
I'm like, how do I share this? And then I did the most awkward fit check ever, and it was.
Oh no!
But I felt right.
Period. I'm sure it was great. I'm sure
now
it was
it's
great.
now it's just a long, arduous road of spending obscene amounts of money on clothes and.
Tell me about it.
How much money do you think you've spent on clothes?
Like per month or per week?
Since you began. Yeah.
Since I began, probably oh my gosh. Probably definitely over $30,000 for sure.
That's not so bad.
For sure.
I thought you were going to say some crazy number.
It's probably, I mean, in the past week or past couple of months, honestly.
I spent $30,000.
I spent a lot in the past couple of weeks, but for me, it's like a vice. I just love clothes. And sometimes they won't make sense until later down the line. Say I'll buy some shoes because they're just calling me. But then I won't wear them and use them until the whole fit forms itself. And I just wait till it comes to me. So I'm just I bought you a year ago, but now you work.
Yeah,
so happy that you work.
Sure.
So I'm a curator for sure.
I love it. Have you gone into styling at all?
I have not. I've been offered to style and I've styled a few photo shoots, but I don't really like styling actually.
Really?
I would style people, but I just think that styling, there's not a lot of money in styling, one, and two, it's
Depends
a lot
on the clients.
Yeah, true. That is very true. But I would rather be creative directing and styling and choreographing. I would rather do the whole nine. If I were to be a stylist, it'd probably be for a video shoot or a production. I don't know,
or a singer or a dancer or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
Beyonce.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, when I'm back in New York, you're welcome to style me because I need all the help I can get.
Nice. I would love to. I love seeing clothes in action. So
yeah, it's become a lot more fun. Something that I've definitely tapped into a lot more since I started coming to New York.
I love that. It'll do it to you.
It does it. Yeah, it really does it. One of my friends, Saxton, he got me onto these tank tops, and that's all I wear now.
Hey, listen, I wear these Dion Lee tank tops every week. I have 5 of them, and I'm just they have cool designs on them, and I'm just it's so simple but elevated. That's what I love. So,
yeah, exactly. Simple and elevated. It's perfect. Yeah. The there was a question I was going to ask you regarding. Oh, that's right, the content side of things. When you started, you had a year. You were posting 4 times a week. How many hours were you putting in per week to this before you saw anything actually happen? Would you say?
Ooh, I would say all my time and energy. I was always thinking about it. I was always trying to plan what outfit I would wear or what video I would make. It kind of was consuming me, but I didn't hate it. But I had to learn how to.
It wasn't work.
Yeah, it wasn't work. It was I would rather do anything but work at Topgolf. So I am going
as a barback.
Literally, I would. So it definitely was weekly. It was always on my mind. I was always thinking about it. Always trying to get to the next kind of level for myself. So all my time really.
Okay.
Which is fun because I said, I loved it. So it was when I wasn't creating, what am I going to do?
You were depressed.
Sit around the house? Yeah.
You were in Missouri at Topgolf.
Yeah. It was Topgolf. It was Red Bull. It was the UPS store. It was the dance studio. I was very busy. And when I wasn't working, I just want to be creative. So.
Well, it sounds like you found your thing.
Yeah, for sure. Now it's kind of I have I was telling my friend yesterday, I was I have so much time on my hands that I have to honor that and really make sure that I'm taking care of my time and honoring it by going to the gym, meditating, reading, creating, editing on time, responding to things, and like not just like doing anything. So
yeah, so
that's,
keeping
like,
the discipline.
yeah, for sure. Like that same discipline that I had back then, like I always tell myself, I'm like, keep that same energy that you had when you first started. Like keep that same energy today, tomorrow, like forever. Like, and like
Because if
that's
you
what I
don't,
always tell myself.
you'll lose it.
Yeah,
These things are fleeting.
exactly.
And the moment you put your foot off the pedal, it ends. Like
Exactly.
you might have a small run of time where it just kind of rolls, but
No,
yeah, you got to keep the working.
just keep on going. So
That's it. So what's your creative process with like your content?
ooh, so I have like, I don't know, I feel as if my style of doing things is so like, it's so funny.
I love your videos. Your videos are so
thank
nice.
you.
They're so good.
Thank you. I have like a few, yeah. I have like a few ways. Like I get most of my ideas by listening to music, and like it's almost like the songs kind of like give me like the backstory for the video, and then like it's up to me to fill in those blanks. So it's like I'll be like walking or driving or dancing or like doing anything, and like subconsciously I'll be thinking about like just like a storyline in my head. And then other than that, like when I don't do that, I really just like pick out a fit for the day and like create it and then edit it, post it, and then move on. I'm just like, because I see creativity as like wafts of ideas that like come to me, and I just have to like be able to like hear them and see them and like, take them on. Yes. Oh my gosh. I literally just like today I was telling my other friend, I was like, I stopped smoking as much as I normally do for like a week. And, you know, I've been in the gym a lot, and I just kind of feel like my antenna is like, it like got like dusted off, you know, it kind of got wiped, it kind of got cleaned. So, yeah, my creative.
Well, if you're thinking about it, your vibration when you're not pumping your body with random shit,
exactly,
you're at a higher level.
Exactly, that's what I feel. Like I feel like on
you
fire.
You can get more waves.
Exactly, I'm just like, come to me. I'm just like, you know, I'm just letting it flow. You know,
yeah, Joe Floww.
Yeah, Joe Floww.
It's on brand.
I would say, yeah, very on brand. I feel like it's like a river of like ideas, and like there's like some debris sometimes. I just gotta like move the debris out the way and like keep going.
So your creative process, continue. Sorry, I interrupted.
Oh, so yeah, it's a lot about the subconscious, and it's a lot about like not thinking about it. But like my main thing is having fun. I feel like my videos have performed the best when I'm having fun and I don't care or don't think about it at all. And I always like, it always blows my mind is because like I look back in those moments where I'm not thinking and I am having fun, and it's like they always perform the best. And then I can look back and say like that was truly just like a in the moment kind of thing. Like it was just in the like I was just in the vibe. So I try to like always go there. Like I will have like music playing. I'll have like my space clean. I always have like some house music going on in like the background, you know, like, so I have to set the scene first, set the mood, and then I just get to working. So
it's like a nice date, you know, you just easing into it. You get a bottle of wine.
No, literally
some sexy music on.
I get some coffee. I get some music going. I have to film it in like the morning when I have like the most energy because I'm up at 6 a.m. So I have to film in the morning. Like it's a whole process, but it's definitely worth it. And like if I'm not feeling it, I will not do it. And like if I'm not in the vibe, if it's not just like giving what it's supposed to be game, like I'm just like, it's okay.
Not today.
Yeah. So
have you read the book The War of Art by any chance?
I want to say yes so bad. Because no, I think I have, but I have not, because there's another book. Forgotten. I wouldn't have forgotten, but I've heard about it, and there's a book that has a similar title. I get them mixed up, like The Artist's Way.
Oh, The Artist's Way. Yeah.
Artist's Way.
That's a different one again. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it mixed up. So.
It's okay. It's all right. I'll forgive you. But I'm not. Well, maybe I'm creative in my own way, but. I read that book, and it's a very small book. You should probably read it. I think anyone who's in the creative field should read this book. Yeah. Super small. You should get it. Maybe I'll buy it for you.
I will. I'll read it.
Basically what it talks about is that, and I've heard this a lot of times through different podcasts of creatives and various people in creative spaces that to maintain a high level of creativity, you just need to keep at it. And one of the key premises of this book is that all your creative juices come from consistency and come from showing up when you don't want to show up. And even those days that are just trash are the days of trash where you get the cobwebs out to then create the spark for what is,
Exactly. Oh, I 100%
art.
agree. Yeah. Because it's like sometimes like our biggest enemy is ourselves. So like once we like shut ourselves up, it's like we can like truly just like be ourselves and kind of go into that creative field once we get past like our own like image of ourselves, if that makes sense.
For sure. How did you break through your own confidence blocks?
Honestly, I'm still trying every single day.
Oh, man.
I'm like, you know what? Like, let me just hold on. Let me turn this off. Like, you're getting stupid like notifications.
Yeah, that's cool.
But what was the question again? Sorry.
So how do you break through your own confidence blocks? Because you're developing as a person from high school and above, and then you need to put yourself out there, and then you get a following, and then you feel like you're obliged to be a certain way, and it's a long process. But yeah, how did you break through that?
I always have to tell myself that no one cares. I'm always telling myself.
No one cares?
Yeah, I'm just like, no one cares that deep about what you look like, about what you're doing. Yeah. It's like, they're going to love you. They're going to love you. If not, who cares? There's so many people in this world. And like, I try to always like stay in kind of like the field of just do what you're doing and do it the best that you can. And like whoever is for you will come in, and whoever is not will not. So I don't know, like I get super like, oh my gosh, like, should I post this? Like, this is a little crazy. And I'm like, I'm a little crazy. Of course. So it's just like telling myself to shut up and get over it. I always tell myself, I'm like, I don't know. And I'm like, if you don't know, then do it. Because that's just like, that's just like, like, it's just like the shadows like telling you like that you're not good enough, or that, like, or that you look stupid. And then like, once I just like shut that up, I just like send it. It's hard though. I do it like every time I post anything. I'm like, no one cares.
Oh. Yeah, your phone back. Nobody cares.
And then then I like throw my phone away. So
pick it up 5 minutes later. I'm sorry.
Yeah, literally. No, yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Okay. Did that just happen naturally? Was that something that you developed when you were in Missouri, or is this something that's developing more now that you're in New York and you're exposed to a much wider world? Because it's hard in a small town.
Yeah. I think
people
that
do
like,
care.
Yeah. And
they got nothing else to care about.
They literally, but like I saw it as I always thought this way, but like growing up, I just saw myself as like an X-Men or like a superhuman. So I was like, these people don't get it. These people just don't know, because I was so different. And I think that like I was the only like dancer at my school, and like out of my friends for like a big chunk of my childhood. So like I was always performing. So I got comfortable being on stage and being in front of people. And then it kind of like liberated me, like when I was on stage, because I'm like, everyone's watching me, probably judging me, but they're all watching me. And like it made so like it gave me that like confidence, like since I was young. I was like, I can do it. I can get on stage. Like let me up there. So I always had that kind of like base level confidence, and then I just have been trying to work on that as I like kind of went into social media and like pictures and videos. But I think it did come from me being like a dancer growing up.
Yeah, fair enough. It's been interesting for me developing through the podcast and trying to get into more content, because I, for a very long time, and it's only just starting to break, I wouldn't look at, those people that just don't really ever look at the camera, like they're always making funny face, because it's like lack of confidence in themselves. Like I was one of those people that just didn't have the confidence to be like, look into a camera properly and, actually be there. I was scared. So I had to begin to work through that by just doing it.
Yeah.
And now I'm starting to get a bit better. I'm feeling like I can not have to take the piss all the time. You know, like you feel like, you have to make a joke out of this because I'm not confident in myself.
Yeah.
Which is good. And I think New York was a big part of that.
Yeah.
A lot of confidence was developed. I saw the world in a different way, and I'm curious to see where it goes.
Yeah, that's cool.
I was going to also say, you mentioned these people don't get it. I came back to Melbourne recently, and Australia is an interesting place. People are very judgmental. They, there's a very wide demographic of people from, fitness and kind of like New York, but it's a bit more extreme in the way that people are, and they'll tend to judge, and they'll tend to actually outwardly judge, and they'll say things. It's really weird. So I'm like, I've got these. It happens a bit, and it gets worse in the smaller towns. But because I'm from a small town too, and I've gone from a small town an hour from Melbourne to New York, going, oh shit. All right, get me back here.
Okay.
So, but there was a funny story that happened last week. I've got these really, really out of pocket sandals. They're so ridiculous. They're like Jesus sandals.
Love that.
Proper Jesus sandals. But the purpose of them is, I've been going through a big barefoot phase. Like I've been trying to wear no shoes a lot more, and it's kind of better for your feet. And
touching some grass.
Opportunity. Literally touching some grass.
As you should.
So these shoes, right? They're the closest equivalent I've found to being barefoot. They conduct electricity through they're not rubber, so it's like you're barefoot. So when I'm like walking the dog or going to the park or something, I'll put them on. Yeah. But then I was wearing, I just wasn't thinking, and I was wearing my really nice Acne Studio pants that I bought. And these flat
honestly, period. Honestly, if that's you, get active, period. So I stand with that.
well, I walked down the street, and these two tradies. There's a big tradie culture, like tradespeople culture in Australia. So it's not like in the US where not many people aspire as much to be tradespeople in the US, but here you can make really, really good money, and a lot of people just go into electrician, carpenter, all those different trades. But there's a bit of a weird culture. It's like a footy culture, but worse, like a football culture, but worse, where it's like a lot of shit talking, a lot of, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's like a combination of a football culture and a frat culture, and then just anywho, but then they make a ton, but then they can make really good money. So there's a big ego in it. It's a whole thing, right? Yeah. So I'm walking down the street, and this guy pulls his window down in his ute in his pickup truck equivalent. I'm trying to give the American equivalent of this story.
I can see it.
And he goes to me, he says something, and I take my headphones out, and he's like, I don't know about those shoes, mate. And I go to him, I look at him, and I go, you just wouldn't get it.
You just wouldn't get it.
I'm sorry, you just wouldn't get it. And then he looks at me, he's like, I don't get it. And I said, I know. And then I just kept walking.
Every time anyone would comment on my fit back home, I'd be like, you know what, you wouldn't understand. So I can't be mad at you.
And it's so funny.
You wouldn't get it.
I flashed through the Rolodex of my life experience over the last 2 years to that moment, and I went, not even mad. You just don't get it.
And you know what? Stay there. And you know what? And you're never going to get it.
You probably won't get it. The reaction was so funny, though. He just was a little bit like, shit, maybe I don't get it.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of ate him up. It's like, he's like, wait a minute. It's like, of course you would say that. It's like, you would say that. I feel that.
I love it. So what advice would you give yourself from 10 years ago?
Oof.
Set the tone. Joe Floww.
I'm like going back.
It's not even Joe
Floww
yet.
No, yeah. I literally see it like a comic book. Like that's how I see every day as like a little storybook. So, but I would tell myself that like I will always be the prize, and like to just always know that like I am always going to be worth it every time.
That's a very intense confidence to have from an early stage. Where do you think that came from?
Being a baddie.
Yeah, sick.
But I think it just came from like not being able to express myself like in like private school or like around people that weren't like me, and then kind of being praised for being different. And like once I accepted myself for who I was, I feel like I was more like appreciated like online or in person, because like there was no denying like who I was once I like walked in that. And I think that like when I was younger, I would always be told like what to do and like where to go and like who to hang around with, and like just kind of like following that like NPC lifestyle of just like normal everyday things, like wake up, go to school, go do homework, go to bed. And I was like, fuck that. I'm like, it's not me. But it was hard. Where did that
English accent come from?
I don't even. Listen, I got like 9. There's a lot of versions. Okay? there's a lot of versions of me, and they always come out whenever they want to.
Random, yeah.
But yeah, so I think that like I went through so much struggle with that like now looking back, I'm like, I was always this person. Like I was always Joe Floww. Like I was born to be who I am, and like that will always get me where I need to go. Period. And like that's what I've been saying out here. I'm like, this who I am. Like I'm funky fresh. Like God made me this way, and like that's it. So
do you think once you began to create the moniker, it allowed you to be more confident because you've created a bit of a persona that maybe necessarily isn't you
100%
at home, but then
100%.
It gave you this freedom to go, cool, I'm Joe.
Yeah.
But then this is Joe Floww, and this is who I'm going to put my energy into being. This is a representation of everything I've always wanted to be, but I'm still just chilling in the background. Like, no, literally. Is that kind of how it feels?
I mean, that's also the story to this day, because I cut my hair in like May. I just cut it all off, and I said, when I get my braids back, and when I move to New York, and I'm going to be the person that I want to be, which is like Joe Floww, Black Panther. So it's like, I would always like, growing up, I'd watch a lot of superhero movies and like video games, and I would always love like their character arcs. And I'm like, I can have like the same thing. So I think that like having like a goal and like having someone that I wanted to be was this persona. And like, I always wanted to reach that. And like, when I was be feeling like nervous or scared or like not confident or like heartbroken, I would think of myself as this like superhero that's like saving the day, And I'm like, that's what he would do. This is what he would do. This is how he would act. This is how he would respond. Yeah. And that still stands to this day. So
I've started doing that as well. Honestly,
nice.
I've started doing
that.
Yeah. I haven't quite. I've always been pretty confident in one way, but it was more of a confidence that hid an insecurity. It was like a defense mechanism.
Yeah.
Than anything, and I've realized over the last couple of years what it was, and I've begun to, I think, slowly just slow down and become internally more confident.
Yeah.
Which is really, it's an interesting change. I'm doing similar things, but the energy is different, and I can feel it. Yeah. I can feel it the way that people respond to me now. It's I'm the same person, but the vibe's off. Like the vibe's just completely different.
I love that. I feel like the same.
Going back to character arcs, so tell me a challenge that you overcame that you never thought you could, and what did you learn from that experience?
Ooh.
All about that character arc.
Character arc.
It's
honestly, I feel like I've had a lot of character arcs, but I would say Heartbreak.
Ah.
I would
Classic.
say getting my heart broken, whether it be by like friends or, by someone that I was like talking to at the time, because in those moments where like you are alone, you like realize that like sometimes, which I love my friends and family, and like I know that you can't do life alone, but like in those alone times, I would have to be there for myself. And I feel like those like dark nights kind of like shaped me to like always be okay at the end of like the day and like not depend on anybody else.
How did you would you want to talk about any of those darker times and how you got through them and kind of the strategies you undertook to move through them?
Yeah, let me like think of some because it's low-key been a minute. Oh wait, okay. Honestly, I was very close with one of my friends, and we kind of had like a falling out, and it was just like one of those rough nights where you kind of like lose all faith in somebody, and you kind of just get like put up to like be fed by like the wolves, Yeah. And it was somebody that I was very close to, and we weren't. I was far from home, and I had to realize like in that moment, it's like I came here like by myself. And I'm going to leave by myself. And like, no one else is going to save me. So I have to always save myself. And I feel like that kind of like, thought process mixed with like a little bit of rage, a little bit of anger was like the success story. Cause it was like, I was so mad. Like I would get into like these like heartbreak moments and then make me angry. And then it'd make me want to create more and kind of like be like,
prove them all wrong.
Look at me now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like, thank y'all, low key. Like, thank you. And like from all those heartbreak moments, I just learned that like no one's perfect and that I still respect and like have love for everybody and can never let it really affect my heart, but just like being more careful and smart in like the future for everybody who's like around me, just period. So I've learned so many lessons from that, from heartbreak, really.
Well, it's an interesting one to be able to. There's two ways you can go about having, and a potential negative experience. You can use that energy for bad things, or you can channel that energy into something potentially productive.
Exactly. I always say like all the love that I give people or somebody else, I have to give it right back to myself. And if I'm not, I'm out of line. So the only way for me to operate like as Joe Floww is to give it and receive it. So
for sure. What book or podcast changed your view on the way that you see things?
I would say The Artist's Way.
Yeah.
Because it was like a 6-month by Julia Cameron.
I've done there was a phase in time where I really should do it more, and it's always on the list. It's just time consuming, where I was doing the morning pages for about 6 months.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bit of work though. It takes a while.
It's a bit of work. I would just be like, write the same thing over and over again. I'm like, okay.
And then every now and again some magic would pop out. You're like, whoa.
Exactly.
What the
fuck? I would type them because I'm like, my hand hurts. I would just type them on my laptop.
You gotta write them though. You gotta write it. That's half of the
I cheated a little bit.
Yeah.
But that book taught me just really like how to like harness my creativity and kind of like it was like a handbook really.
Yeah.
Because I was always just doing it but never like knew what I was doing, and that book kind of like gives you like a lot of like pointers and like just like explains a lot of things that as a creative like you're going to go through. So and it came at like the perfect timing too. So I like started reading it in December of 2023 or 2022. So like last year, and then I kept on reading. From then, like I would never read until that book, and now like I'm reading like
reading's amazing.
Yeah, reading now I love reading now, and it's so funny because I never did until like now. So
what I love about reading is that you when you get a book from somebody, it's pretty much a deeply thought out culmination of everything that person knows distilled into 200 pages. And some of the most successful, influential people in the world have written books.
Yeah.
And in my head, I think let's just say who's your idol when it comes to this fashion, like the fashion world?
Ooh, I would say like fashion and like content. It's this guy named Soy Raka, Felipe.
So if you had an opportunity to have an hour or 2 hour meeting with him, you would drop everything, right? And you would
Oh
go
yeah.
and do that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Now,
He's like the reason why I like started creating. So
now the logic continues that if he has a book, it's probably a potentially better equivalent than traveling to the other side of the world to have a 2 hour meeting with him. And that's just sitting on a shelf that you can get at any point. There is no excuse not to read a lot if you want to do anything more than just like mediocrity with your life.
Literally.
And the consistent thing with all the most intelligent, successful people in the world is they all read.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
I've like found it like as I read more, like I feel more in sync with things around me.
The reality of the world, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh, like
this makes so much sense.
No, literally. I'm like, what? And I'm like, I didn't do this like for how long?
Yeah.
And it's also a good time for me to like calm myself down because I feel like I operate on a high level of like energy all day long. But like reading like calms me down, like brings me back to that like kind of like flow state where I can just like be for like an hour, 30 minutes, and just like not have anything else going on in the world but like me in this book. So
are you good at focusing? Like, do you have an ability to focus?
But I'm trying to focus better. I'm like catching myself now because
it's skill.
It's like I don't even know. I don't know if I got ADD, ADHD, DND. I don't even know. So I probably got all of it.
The D's.
I really probably do. That's what everyone in my family would always say. And I'm just like, whatever. But I'm realizing that every time I bring myself back to like focusing, I'm just getting better at it.
You build the muscle.
Each time. Yeah.
You build the muscle.
Yeah.
I've started a bit of a obsession lately. My new hobby obsession is chess. And it came from going to a random chess club on a Wednesday night in New York. Picture this like cool bar with candlelit and then chess tables, dim lights, just like young crew playing chess. And I went there and I was like, this is so much fun. And I came back to Australia and I just wanted to get better. So I've been playing online so much.
Nice.
And what I've noticed, there's a rating system. I started off at about 500 rating. And now in the last 3 months or so, I've gone to 900 rating. Cool. So I've gone up a significant rating. My goal is 1,200. Yeah, nice. My goal is 1,200. We're getting there. Yeah. Slowly. But what I've noticed is I'm highly distractible as well. Mm-hmm. First thing that comes into my vision, the moment the person on the other side is not making a move, I'm on my phone, I'm fucking around.
Yeah.
And I would keep losing and it would piss me off that I would lose. So it like every time I lost because I was distracted and not paying attention, I'd just be like, fuck. So I've noticed myself getting better and better at catching those moments of distraction when I'm waiting. And instead of distracting and doing something else, I'm trying to bring my focus back to thinking about the game. And I'm noticing that it's now affecting the other things in my life and the way I approach the other things. Because that's never been a muscle that I've actually flexed, up until this point.
Yeah. And now it's like so strong. You're like, wow.
It's getting there. I mean, it's not it could be stronger, but it's definitely improving. And it's improving significantly. So now a lot of the time I work, let's say I'm not playing chess, I'm doing something else. I'm noticing that I might have a brief moment of distraction, but I'm catching it so much quicker.
Exactly. And then you feel more stronger, like, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I feel the same.
Quick side note on the Artist's Way book, just for the listeners, one of the lessons from the book is to take yourself on an artist date to get creativity flowing. What is your artist date? Where do you take yourself?
To the park. Domino or Dumbo Park.
You go to Domino's?
Fuck, no, I ain't got no damn Domino's. Nah. Not Domino's. Domino Park, which is pretty good. Domino Park. Now that I'm here back home, I would go to Forest Park, like this giant-ass park, but it's like I'll go smoke a little bit, and I'll just walk. But like I'll pay attention to like the wind and the trees and all of the shits.
No
I feel
phone?
like the phone for like music, but like other than that, like no. Like I'll have like a set park playlist, and I'll just like go.
Can
And
you send me the park playlist? I'm
I
curious.
will. Oh my gosh,
Please.
I literally was singing the park playlist. It's
Yeah,
the
please send
best.
me the park. Well, we were vibing out over the classical.
Yes, no, that's my morning playlist. Every mood that there is, I have a playlist for.
I'm the exact same.
I just love it.
Same.
I'm just it sets the scene.
Yeah.
So I can really be in the moment when I am in that mood. I'm like, like this is the soundtrack.
Yeah, no doubt. Music makes a massive impact on the way that you view the world.
Literally.
So you take yourself out on a little date, you walk the park, and you just contemplate life.
Contemplate life. I'll read. I'll like journal. But I feel like I do that like every day. Like at least twice a week. At least twice a week. So like that's my artist date for sure.
I love it.
So
so what's your life been like since you began to see success as a fashion influencer? And like what challenges have you had outside of the internal struggles?
honestly, people are a big thing because I'm very nice and open. I just want to love everybody, but like everyone's just not fitting from my life. So it's like realizing that and like filtering out people who just like want something from you, or they just want to like be around your energy and like not you. So I think like that's been like the main thing, is like trying to honor my own time and not like spread myself over everything just because I'm here in New York and I want to, be a part. It's like what's meant for me will come to me. And I feel like that's like the biggest thing that I have to like understand and have been learning in my career of being a content creator, is that like I can't force anything. So, and like I just literally like the right people, jobs, opportunities, like they're all finding their way to me and I don't have to like do too much ever. So
yeah, I've been the complete opposite of that. Hey, I've always been a bit of like a bulldog. I've just like been hustling and grinding, and I've pushed myself into rooms that I shouldn't be in.
Oh wow.
I'm like one of those guys, and it's been a struggle. It's been, I've always felt like maybe not always, but for a long time, I felt like I wasn't good enough. So I had to prove myself that I was, have to really just get into it to make anything happen. But then coming to New York for the first time in a long time, well, first time ever, things just happened to me. And I went, oh shit, this is how it should be. It shouldn't be a fucking fight all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah, you can hustle, but goddamn, like there's a difference to it.
Yeah, it's about patience and like, taking care of what you can and the ones like around you, and then letting everything else kind of filter off of that. It's been a big thing that I had to learn out here so far since I moved here. So,
well, New York's a challenge because at all moments in time, there's something you could be doing.
Always.
And it's the skill isn't getting out there and doing, it's not doing.
Yeah. I feel like the main thing that I tell myself is like, it's okay to chill. It's okay to like go touch some grass. It's okay to like take a day off. I'm like,
but there's his thing on.
Exactly. So, cause like, I think that like sometimes I need a break from myself. Or else like, you'll like
Joe Floww needs a break from Joe Floww.
No, literally. I'm like, I want to be Joseph tonight. I'm just gonna like literally like sit and clip in a ball and play Apex on Xbox.
Yeah.
And then like when I wake up in the morning, then I'm back to it. So back at it. I'm just like, I am living here, but I am living here, meaning that like I'm not going back to Missouri. So it's like I have to understand that like I can live life too and do the fashion thing, but also like don't forget about like real life too in the same hand, and like my friends who don't do fashion and just like everything else under the sun. I'm like, not everything is about like content and fashion and social media. Like I'm just like so
I think with New York, the trick with it is that you need to have a meditation practice. You need to be doing some mindfulness. You need to be slowing down. You need to be journaling. And I think the big one that I notice is there gets a time period when you're in the city and you begin to hate the city and you're like, I got to leave for a little bit. You know that feeling? Where you're
I don't actually, because I live in Brooklyn. So it's
yeah, you're chilling.
I love
I'm in
Brooklyn.
LAS. I'm like,
I love Brooklyn. I'm like, fuck the city. I'm going back home to Brooklyn. And it's like, when I leave, actually, I am like, I just want to go back to New York. Like, this is like the first time I've been here for like a solid month almost. I told myself I was going to take a break from like going anywhere and just live in New York instead of like, going wherever. But I
except
just love. Okay, exactly. But yeah, no, I love coming back home to Brooklyn from Manhattan. I would not live in Manhattan ever. So
well, maybe that's what I'm doing wrong, because I'll be in the complete chaos of it, walking distance from debauchery at all times.
Okay, no. You gotta cross that bridge. You gotta cross that bridge.
I don't like crossing that bridge. It's so far away.
I live like 20-minute train from LES, so I think it's so clutch. I don't know how that ended up. It was all very magical. How I'm here, I'm just like, okay.
Well, hopefully I'll be back in April and maybe we can get a 3-bedroom and I'll live with you guys.
For sure.
It'll be fun. That'd be sick. The thing that I did though, which I loved, and I'm now obsessed with the state of New York, just as a whole. Like you got the city, and then 3 hours up the road, you've just got the most beautiful mountains. I went to the Catskills for 2 days by myself. Oh yeah,
I saw that.
I was just like,
I would love to go. I almost went in August, but I went to Minnesota instead. But I need to go up there this fall, do a little cabin trip.
Oh, it's so nice. There's no reception.
I love that. Thank God.
So everyone's using landlines to go. It's like, what the fuck?
Okay.
Yeah. Honestly, it's so funny. And I just took myself there for a couple of nights. I did some mushies. There was a fireplace. I didn't turn my phone on off airplane mode. Well, I couldn't.
Yeah, it wasn't airplane mode.
It went automatic airplane mode.
Yeah,
and I just like bought a bunch of really nice food from Whole Foods, and I just treated myself.
See, everyone needs that. Everyone needs that.
Yeah, there was such a nice fireplace, and I just sat there each night and just stared at the fire for 2 days straight.
Was there stars out?
Yeah, of course.
Love that.
I had this. Of course.
I don't know if it was like cloudy or not,
No. It was midsummer. Yeah, it was good.
Oh, perfect.
And there was a private waterfall that was off the beaten track that I found.
Oh,
you had to like scale this like really like steep.
Oh, really?
Thing to get to it. So I had my own waterfall.
Oh,
and every morning I went there and I was just swimming in it.
Oh, shit. Great. You need to give me those coordinates.
I will. Thinking to myself, if someone kidnapped me right now, you'd never hear from me again.
Yeah.
Swimming naked in this solo fucking.
As you should. Sounds fun. Yeah.
It was really nice.
I'm gonna need that Addy for sure.
Yeah, I'll get you that. So from here, what goals do you have for yourself in the future, and how do you plan to get there?
So I see myself as I am now, but a creative director, and I would love to be in front and behind the camera more, with like directing choreography, movement, styling, for like music videos, dance videos, commercials. That's where like the future is like headed, and like down like the line, kind of having like my own kind of agency where I do all that. But right now, I am invested in a lot of new equipment, like new cameras and old cameras. So I'm like learning how to work them. I got blessed with a best friend who lives down the street from me, and he is a videographer. So me and him work together a lot. I see him every single day. And yeah, so we're kind of like building this kind of network and team of our of creative people, and just kind of rocking it out. We're like the low key, like we're our own little X-Men squad. Like we're like finding like the wonky ones, like the crazy ones, and like come join us, So that's where the future is like headed, just full creative direction.
Well, if you need a DJ / podcast host,
honestly, that's the thing. Like that's the thing for me. It's like dance, music, fashion, boom. So I mean, like. And all my friends who also do fashion and all this stuff, like they're all like learning to DJ, or they are DJing. So I'm sure you fit right in.
I love it. Well, I'm conscious of your time. Do you mind if we rapid fire some final questions, and
cool.
I'll let you get back into the evening that is New York City.
Yeah, so, I got to go pop it at this event.
You gonna do it?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna hit the splits on the whole dance floor. That's what I always do. But
can you do the splits?
No, half splits, the fake splits. Okay. Yeah.
So, if you could do only one tourist activity before you die, what would it be?
Probably the Great Wall of China.
I've been there,
and I have no idea why. It just came to mind. So
pretty cool. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild.
I would love that.
Yeah, I went there in 2018.
Oh, cool. I just love Asia, really, and China.
Yeah.
I've been once, so.
Yeah, you've been?
Just once.
Yeah. Why didn't you go to the Great Wall of China when you went?
I was in Shanghai.
Okay.
For no damn reason. Literally no damn reason.
Dude, I get that. In 2018, I said to myself, I'm going to travel somewhere. Where am I going to go? I don't want to have a big flight. So that knocked out Europe and America. I said, I don't want to go somewhere I've been already. So that knocked out pretty much a lot of Southeast Asia. I'm like, I want to go somewhere where the culture is completely different. So I looked at the map and I was like, China.
Yeah. Period. Backpack on.
Literally. And I went there by myself for 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
Just did a whole loop.
As you should.
It was ridiculous.
See, I found some $400 ticket, like a round trip for a week. So I lied to my professor and told her that my cousin was like studying in China and I had to go shadow her for her basketball career. And I went to China for no damn reason for a week with my friend. And I got back home like, why the hell did we do that? But yeah.
It's so good. If you could recommend one book to if you could only recommend one book to somebody for them to read for their whole lifetime, what would it be?
The Creative Act.
Okay. Who's that by?
I'm not sure. I have the book somewhere around here, but I butchered it. It's like all... Oh, wait. Oh, my gosh. Like it's busted.
Rick Rubin. Yeah. He's my boy.
This book, mine fell in some water, so it's a little busted up. But this book is a good creative manual. So, period.
Okay, I'm gonna get that book. I've been meaning to read it.
You should.
Yeah. Nice. And what do you like about it?
I like how it's like you don't have to read it every day, but it's like always fitting, and it's like short chapters, but they all hit so good.
Yeah,
they all hit.
He's wonderful. He's got he's like an inspiration to me. That guy. He's just he doesn't wear shoes. It's great.
I love that. I love that.
Have you seen his interviews?
Like maybe like 2 of them before.
He just never wears shoes, and he's just all over it, and super respected. Does whatever the fuck he wants. It's just brilliant.
Amazing.
If you give the listeners the top 3 things they could do to create a similar life to yours, what would you give them?
I would say always be confident even when you don't want to. Know your worth and know yourself. Which kind of like goes into knowing your worth, but let's restart. Yeah. Okay.
You start again?
Yeah. Let's start again. So I would say to figure out who you are, figure out what you want, and to have fun. And having fun sounds so like cliche, but like that's base. It's just having fun. Like me and my friend always say, no think, just cute. No think, just cute. Just yeah. That's it. So
I love it. And what do you think the why of all of this is? What is the meaning of life?
I think it's all about love. You know, I feel like, you know, like we're all blessed with our personalities and who we are. And, you know, it's like God just like pours this like love into us, and we're supposed to just like receive it and give it out. So I feel like I'm here to be love and to be light and just always spread that. So that's like why I do it. I always try to bring the energy, bring the love, bring the vibes, because a lot of people need that, and I need that. We all need it. So I think it's all about love.
Well, I mean, I Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. I do love it. The I think it's analogous to having a match and then sharing your match with someone else.
Exactly.
And you don't lose anything from it, but they gain.
Exactly. I wouldn't be here without my friends and family and the love that I get from them. So it's all about just giving it back.
Brilliant. Joe, thank you for coming on the podcast. I appreciate
Thanks for
you.
having me. It was so much fun.
I love it. I love it. I'm
Yes, sir.
looking forward to catching you in Thailand in Feb.
Hey, I'll see you there. I'll see you there. So I hope you have an amazing rest of your evening or
Yeah, you too.
morning.
Morning. Well, technically there's an evening to follow at some point.
Okay. Your whole day. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings.
I love you, my man. Okay.
Cool. Thank you. See ya.